This video is brought to you by Hit Point Press and their Big Bad Booklet series, a monthly zine about boss monsters for 5th edition. This month, come meet Captain Fulmini, a vampire who can harness the power of the high seas with an unquenchable thirst for revenge. Beware the ship with the blood-stained sails, landlubbers. It may be the last thing you ever see. Will you walk the plank, or can you knock Captain Fulmini's plans off course? Subscribe today at bigbads.com. Hello and welcome back to The Gallant Goblin. I'm Theo, and today we are introducing another one of our players for our upcoming Twitch game, A Song for the Shadows. This is RG Yamba. RG,
Hi everybody.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about you, Theo?
I'm doing good. I, first of all, just appreciate you being willing to go on this adventure with me.
Of course, thanks for having me. I was truly honored when you thought of me, given my lack of D&D experience, but I'm very honored.
You were actually one of the very first people to come to mind, and I know you've never played D&D. You've been very much willing to jump right in, though, and have a good time with it, so I really appreciate that. What do you think of D&D so far, and like how have your experiences been? You've come and played one or two games with me, and gotten to try it out a little bit. What do you think?
It's really good. I guess I just had, well, first of all, when I had my old preconception of D&D, I thought it was like a board game, and then I realized it was like role-playing and like, you know, improv, and I'm like, oh, this is it's literally just acting. Of course, with a lot of background and a lot of story, but I think how I see it, it's like improv, and I think it's really cool. It's really interesting, and I'm not the most like fantasy person, but I think this taps into a side that I haven't thought about in a while, and it's really fun. It's really fun. It's been good so far, and you get to create something, a different persona and a whole different background, and it's complicated, but also it's a good complicated, but also some fun you can kind of inject every now and then in between.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, and the reason I really wanted to bring you in is this is my adventure to show off the bards in my life, and you inspire me to such a degree. I just want you to talk a little bit about the work you do here in Houston. Like, what is it that you work on, your passions?
Well, how much time do you have?
Much time as you want.
So I've been working at this nonprofit that serves previously homeless and low-income individuals, trying to give them housing and provide them with a supportive environment, something they haven't had in a while. They used to live underneath the bridge, and, you know, of course, the trauma that kind of goes into people that don't have a home, and it's something that we often kind of take for granted, especially here in America, and it's kind of unfortunate to see them go through stuff like that. But I've been doing work with them all throughout undergrad. I kind of did service through food insecurity and kind of recovering leftover food. That's how I was introduced to this organization, and then I kind of carried on now in my professional life. So it's been pretty good. I try to do also some work within the local Houston political scene in LGBTQ advocacy through Pride, and that Theo actually got me in contact with somebody through politics and through the GLBT political caucus, and trying to elect LGBTQ allies and individuals into office to kind of, you know, take into account our needs, especially right now in Texas and the United States with all of the trans exclusionary policies in place. So it's kind of, it's been a work in progress. I've kind of been through hoops and trying to get where I'm at today. And I think it's been a long run, and I'm glad to see where I'm at, especially as I transition and go through my own journey, but also stay focused with uplifting the people that I care about.
You're a bard. You are a bard.
I mean, if you put it that way.
You spend your days helping people who are down on their luck or having a rough time for whatever reason, and you do what that you need to do to make sure they can reach their potential. And that's, to me, what a bard does. So I appreciate what you do. And so hopefully this game is a way to escape for a little while, kind of. I work with a similar community and doing special education. And so I know that it can weigh on you. So hopefully D&D is a way to kind of step away from that for a little while.
Yeah.
And take on another persona and just have some fun. So why don't you tell us about the character you're playing in this game?
Sure. So my character is Zylthyra. She is a half-elf bard, of course, and forgive me if I don't get all the terms correct. Clearly, given my lack of knowledge, but Theo has done a really good job in trying to, catch me up on everything. So Zylthyra grew up with a bunch of the drows in the Underdark, surrounded with a bunch of evil and, people that were kind of course, obsessed with spiders and things like that. I'm sorry. No. I'm just throwing in like the little things that you told me, and I'm just like, it sounds so like.
No, I think it's fine. Like, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna keep all this in.
I know.
Because it's the D&D lore is very dense, especially when there's nothing like.
Baby,
some of
I'm
D&D,
dense.
No. Some of the D&D lore is kind of based on like mythology that you may have heard about, like Medusas and things like that.
Yes.
But the drow, the dark elves, the half elves, like this is all new.
Yeah.
And so, but you've done a great job of creating this character who herself is a half elf with pale skin.
Yeah.
But she got pulled underground after she was kind of left homeless herself and adopted by this drow family, right?
Yeah.
And you came up with also yourself. I kind of gave you a little bit of background on the different creatures, but and so what does she think as this pale half elf living amongst people who don't look like her and who may be kind of sinister and may not like you if they kind of knew who you were? Like, how was that for her?
Yeah, definitely. She met this one individual that kind of were different. It was different than a bunch of the people she surrounded with, and that kind of was her light throughout. Of course, she grew up in an environment where she wasn't welcomed and with a bunch of people that didn't think like her. And of course, for the longest time, she felt the pressure to kind of fit in with everybody else. I know, given a half-elf, they're kind of in a weird predicament where they grow too slowly compared to other humans and a little bit not as quickly or faster than elves. See, I got it. Yeah. So given all of that, given her at least intrinsic nature as a half-elf, but also on top of that, in the environment she grew up in, for the longest time, she tried to fit in, and meeting this elf. I guess, okay, I was on a roll.
The drow?
The drow. Yeah. No, I was thinking of like a drow that was a bit different. She wanted to kind of mimic that in her life. And right now her personality is kind of the complete opposite of who she used to be, and very bubbly, but also is a bad, can I say the B word?
You can say she's a bad B word.
She's a bad B word. She's a bad B word. She just tries to help the people around her, regardless of class or race, to not feel like what she felt like growing up. She was on the streets for the longest time and kind of had to fend for herself. And throughout her life, she's been kind of trying to, muster up the confidence and to, heal from the scars of physical scars from all the fighting, but also from the emotional and experiences she had to go through.
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting to meet her and to see her journey through this adventure and to see your journey through this adventure too. So be sure you tune in. It'll be on twitch.tv/gildinglight starting April 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And RG, are you looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm very much excited. And I get to grow and learn as I go.
Yeah, well, we are so excited to have you. Thank you for doing this with us.
Of course, thank you.
And be sure to tune in and watch for yourself. And we will see you soon over on Twitch and also here at The Gallant Goblin.